why, but during lunch, he took this rotisserie chicken to the bathroom and shoved it in the toilet and flushed. Well, that messed things up pretty bad because that bathroom, every single toilet started backing up, overflowing. The janitor pulled the entire rotisserie chicken out of one of the pipes. Principal got on the announcements the next morning. After yesterday's incident, students are reminded to never flush a rotisserie chicken in the toilets. Please. Now, everyone thought that was the funniest announcement they have ever heard, and the school's #1 mistake was that announcement, because now that kid was a legend, and well, he had started a trend. The next week, another chicken showed up flushed in the toilet. Then another. Students were sneaking them in their backpacks and seeing if they could get away with it. It got so bad, the janitors started checking people as they were coming in. By the end of that semester, the school had spent thousands and thousands of dollars on plumbing repairs. And for years after this, everyone remembered the great rotisserie chicken flush. Gotta respect the hustle. On the first day of class, this teacher walked in and wrote his name on the board. Mr. Stevenson. He told everyone to open their textbooks, and that was his entire teaching method. That entire class, he made the students copy, word for word, everything that was in chapter 1. Well, students started asking questions. Why did the Roman Empire fall, Mr. Stevenson? He would just say, it should tell you in your textbook. Who won the War of 1812? It should tell you in your textbook. Well, what year did World War II end? That's not in the chapter, but the textbook should tell you. Shortly after that, the principal walked in. Excuse me, who are you? I'm Mr. Stevenson. Sir, you don't work here. I was coming in because the sub never showed up. Mr. Stevenson wasn't a teacher the school hired. Mr. Stevenson was just some random guy that showed up to that school that day, walked into that classroom, and pretended to teach the class. The police did come, and he did get a fine. That's insane. This kid was hanging out with his friend, playing video games, eating pizza, watching a movie. Yo, this night is so fun. Then his friend's mom walks into the living room. She's carrying snacks. Right as she sets the bowl on the coffee table, she lets out an absolute monster fart. This kid immediately bites his lip. Because in his house, the entire family would be laughing. Because farts are funny. Nobody reacted. She let out a monster fart, and nobody did anything. His friend was messing with the TV. Dad was just sitting there. Not to mention the smell. The smell was so weird. He starts laughing because he can't help it. And everyone looks at him like he's crazy. What? What's up? Something happened? Hey, what's so funny? This is supposed to be a drama. Nothing. He asks his friend about it later. And his friend was just like, I don't know. I guess we just don't think farts are funny. But even if it's like a super big weird one like your mom did, I guess. To him, he said that was so strange. What do you think? This kid was very quiet in school, so the bully thought he would be an easy target. On one Monday, the bully put a fake spider on this kid's notebook, expecting him to freak out. He's gonna freak out. But the kid sat down, saw it, and got excited instead. Oh, cool, a spider! Oh man, it's fake! On Wednesday, the bully put a bunch of paper shreddings in this kid's locker, expecting him to get mad that it was so inconvenient. This'll be so inconvenient for him. But no, he started playing in it with his friends. Oh, come on guys, look at this! It's raining paper! On Thursday, the bully dumped a bucket of water on him. Oh, thank you so much, man. It's a hot one today. After that, the bully just stood there. He didn't know what to do anymore. He turned around, walked away, and he never messed with that kid again. Because no matter what he did, the kid had the time of his life. This kid got a summer job at a golf course when he was 13 years old. I'm 13. I work at a golf course. His whole job was simple. When golfers finished their round, they would drop off their golf carts. He would hose it down, then they would get the golf carts and take it away. After a couple of weeks, his bosses trusted him with the golf carts, even to drive them sometimes. Then one afternoon, he's taking this really nice golf cart back to the clubhouse. Well, there's a pond between him and the cart barn. Cuts the corner a little too tight. One tire slips off the path, he jerks the wheel. The whole cart is sliding. He's hitting the brake, but nothing's happening. I'm hitting the brake, nothing's happening. And then, splash. Him and the golf cart in the pond. He jumps out just before this thing sinks. Now he's standing there soaking wet, staring at what he just did, and he's terrified. But wait till he finds out whose golf cart that was. Club manager comes running over after hearing the ruckus. What happened over here? Please tell me that wasn't cart 12. That was cart 12. Turns out that was the mayor's brand new golf cart that he was keeping there at the club, and now it was sitting at the bottom of a pond. The mayor comes out. Hey, is that my cart in the water? I want him fired. What? Listen, I'm sorry, kid, but you're fired. I mean, yeah, I guess that does make a little sense. I don't feel good. Puke somewhere else. It's finals week, and the hallways are dead silent during class. Everyone's either taking tests or they're doing reviews. Well, on this particular day, this one kid had not felt good. His stomach feels weird. He's nauseous. By midday, he's pale, and he can't hold it in anymore. So he sprints out of the classroom to the bathroom. He turns the corner to the nearest bathroom, and the janitor cart is parked right there. One bathroom is locked, and the other one is blocked. I gotta throw up, he said. Throw up somewhere else, the janitor replies. He tries to slip past him. No, stay back. Now he's panicking, but he sees the garbage bag hanging off the janitor's cart, so he decides he's just gonna throw up in there. But the janitor says, "Shoo, get out of here!" And that's it. Kid just steps back, looks at the floor in front of him, and pukes all over it. He then backs up a bit and pukes more. Now he's leaving this puke trail as he's stepping back. When he's done, he wipes his face and he looks at the janitor and says, "Well, looks like you're gonna have to clean that up, huh?" And the janitor is mad. But there's nothing he can do because he's the one that refused this kid a safe, clean toilet to throw up in. So now that's what he gets. Every kid has a moving out phase. On this day, this kid's mom was yelling at him, telling him to clean his room, eat his broccoli, normal stuff. But he got fed up. Fine, if my room is so messy, I'm moving out. And he expected his mom to cry and be like, "No, don't move out, I'm so sorry." The mom just said, "Okay, the suitcase is in the attic." Suddenly, she called his bluff. "Okay, I'm gonna go get it." He knows she called his bluff, but he wants to see how far he can take it, so he starts packing. Then suddenly, the mom is helping him pack. "Oh, don't forget your toothbrush, honey. I'll even drive you to the end of the street if you want. I'll pack you a sandwich too, so you don't starve tonight." "No, it's fine, I'll walk." Now, 5 minutes later, this kid's standing at the edge of the driveway with his suitcase full of random stuff his mom helped him pack. His mom locks the front door, closes the garage. Kid begins to walk away, hoping that they're watching him, hoping they'll beg for him to come back. But they don't. So he turns around, knocks on the door. "Oh, hi, sweetie. Did you forget something?" "I don't want to move out, Mom. I'll clean my room." The room gets cleaned in record time. Has this ever happened to any of you guys? Meet Johnny. Johnny thought he was the smartest kid in the 7th grade. He spent all Monday night practicing his fake stomach pains. Ooh. Something kind of hurts. Hope I'm not getting sick. I hope you feel better, sweetie. Well, it works, because on Tuesday morning, his mom fell for it. "Oh, Mom, the pain is worse." "Oh, my poor baby. Well, I'm heading to work. I'll call you into school. Stay home. Get some rest." "Okay." He felt like he pulled off the heist of a century. Spent all day playing video games, thinking to himself, "My friends are probably so jealous of me right now." Well, the next morning, he goes back to school, walks in like a king. "What's up, guys?" The second he gets into the building, he stops. The floors look extra shiny. Everyone's huddled in different groups, watching a video on their phone. He sees his friends. "Yo, what's up?" His friend says, "Bro, you picked the worst day to be sick." Apparently, during 3rd period the day before, there was supposed to be a routine fire drill. But it wasn't just the alarm that went off. Something malfunctioned, and the sprinklers in the main hallway went off. We're talking gallons and gallons and gallons of water hitting those floors. One kid even took the bathroom soap and sprayed it on the floors as the sprinklers were coming down. Slip and slide! The best part was, it was 100 degrees outside, so this felt awesome. Teachers were sliding, the principal slipped, the weird kid from class used a lunch tray as a boogie board. Everybody went home soaking wet, but they said it was the best day of school ever, and that's all anyone talked about for years. There was Johnny. Oh, that sounds fun. It was amazing. Hope you're feeling better, by the way. Oof. Tough break. This family is so weird. So this kid gets invited over to his friend's house, and it's a normal day at first. We were swimming and hanging out. It was whatever. But the setup to the house is already weird. To get to the backyard pool, you have to walk straight through the parents' bedroom. And on the walls of the bedroom, it was just pictures of my friend's mom. Hundreds of them. In different costumes, hundreds of framed pictures all over the walls. In a cowboy costume, in an Elmo costume, in a horse costume where she was the head of the horse and his dad was the butt. So he's already like, yeah, this house is weird. But it gets worse. Later that day, they all go inside, and the friend's mom goes, "Okay, who wants some ice cream?" I was like, heck yeah, I love ice cream. She scoops the vanilla into the bowl and hands it to him. But then she grabs a bottle from the fridge and says, "Do you want ranch on it?" I didn't know how to answer, but I assumed it was a joke, so I just laughed and said, "No, I'm okay." She just looks confused. And then her son, this kid's friend, says, "I'll take some, Mom." Dude, it's so much better with ranch on it. Then the dad walks in, he grabs a bowl. "Oh, this looks good. Who's got the ranch?" I'm just sitting there watching them all eat vanilla ice cream with ranch on it, and they're looking at me like I'm the weird one. Hey, I never went back to that house ever again. This teacher was the strictest in the school. No phones, no talking, and absolutely no food. But then one morning, before class, she saw a single flaming hot Cheeto perfectly taped to the middle of her desk. What is this? She peeled the snack off, put it in the garbage, and monitored the room incredibly well that day. Nobody came forward. The next day, another Cheeto, taped with a single piece of Scotch tape on the pencil sharpener. Another one. The next day, another one taped to the back of her chair. The day after that, it was taped to her escape key on her keyboard. What is going on? She had no idea who was doing this, and it was messing with her badly. So she went to the school principal and the people in charge, and they're like, "Okay, settle down, it's just Cheeto, but I'll make an announcement." The principal was young and new, and he was about to make a major mistake. "Good morning, students. Whoever keeps taping single hot Cheetos to things in Mrs. Gable's room, please stop." Uh-oh. He made that announcement to a middle school. What happened next? Dozens of students thought it was hilarious and started doing the exact same thing. There was flamin' hot Cheetos taped everywhere. Library books, school trophy case, the gym scoreboard. So the school tried to kill this joke for Mrs. Gable, but instead they accidentally started a cult, the taped hot Cheeto cult. And there was nothing they could do about it. The only thing that kills a trend is time, and it took some time. Everybody liked this one guy. Yo, it's like everybody. He was popular, funny, and he was always the center of every single party. So one night, there's this big party at somebody's house, and everybody's there. It's packed, there's music going, people chilling. Yo, this is a killer party, Johnny. Hey, thanks, man. I'm just honored that you're here. But you see, not everybody liked that kid. I hated him. So the kid that did not like him was talking to his friend. "I just don't like the guy. Yeah, I don't like him that much anymore either. Dude, I'm in a group chat with him, and look what he's been saying." You see, he gets shown this group chat, and the popular kid is in this group chat talking trash about everybody, even his friends, even the girls he's currently hanging out with at the party. "Hey, screenshot these and send me them." Okay. Don't say it was me. So he gets the screenshot, and then he plugs his phone into the HDMI port of the TVs in the living room of this party, and he pulls up all the screenshots. He turns off the music. "Everybody, look!" And he has these screenshots of all the horrible stuff he said just right there on the TV. Wait, what? No. That's not me. People are mad. "No, guys, they're jokes. I'm just joking in these." But it's too late. He had fallen from grace and he was shoved out of that party really quick. The next day he was at school, he went from popular to loser really quick. Hey, that's karma. Oh my God, my farms! This was back in the Facebook game era. This kid's mom was completely addicted to Farmville. She'd wake up in the morning, pour herself a cup of coffee, and immediately it was farming time. Harvest, 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 plant. My farm is looking great. This mom was also kind of a helicopter parent, so she would monitor her kids' activity online as well, which meant she had her kids' Facebook passwords. But more than monitoring their activity, she was also playing Farmville on their accounts. Basically a whole digital farming empire. All of my farms are doing amazing. She took it way too seriously. I'm not sure if any of you remember this or your parents, but Farmville meant business back in the day. One day the kids get grounded for some bogus reason, and the son, he's mad. I'm mad! He wants payback, so he's sitting in his room and he's thinking to himself, what does she love the most? Her farms. So one night, he logs into his Facebook, and he intentionally sabotages everything in his farm. Then he goes on the family computer. His mom's already logged in. He goes to her precious farm and completely sabotages everything there as well. Selling, deleting, harvesting too early. The next morning, he hears it. He's still in his bed. From downstairs, he hears the yelling. What happened to my farm? What happened to all my farms? Panic and fast-clicking mouse noises filled the air. She spends the whole day absolutely furious, talking about hackers, emailing Facebook. She never put two and two together that her son probably did this, but he knew, and it made him so happy. That's what you get, Mom. When he was 10, his grandpa asked him, what do you want for your birthday? And he says, a brick. A brick? Why? Because my parents still have the super old TV. If I throw a brick at the TV, we'll have to get a new one. Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe just some Pokemon cards or something. The grandpa just smiles and nods. A couple months later, this kid's birthday comes around, and there's a beautifully wrapped present on the table. Heavy, perfect corners. The kid opens it. Inside was a single brick. The grandpa's losing it. You're crazy. I can't believe you remembered. And the grandpa leans in and says real quiet to him, "Wait till your mom's in the kitchen, and then waste the TV." So the kid's mom goes into the kitchen to grab the cake. The kid takes the brick, smashes it in the TV. TV is destroyed. What happened here? Now we gotta get a new TV. Yes. The grandpa took the blame for throwing the brick at the TV. "I don't know why I did that." Then the kid says, "It's okay, Mom. Please don't be mad at Grandpa. I'll help you pick out the new TV." "Okay, fine. You're right." "It's okay, Pops. You'll be okay. Just sit down and relax. I'll clean this up." The mom then leaves to grab the broom. "Nice work, kid. I love you, Grandpa." What a nice story. Yo, something stinks. This one guy shared the story. It's the middle of the night. The dad's asleep in his room, and somehow his twin toddlers, both 2 years old, escape their room and go down to the kitchen. They drag a chair across the floor and they climb on it. They open a drawer they definitely shouldn't be opening and they pull out a cheese grater. Then they go to the fridge and pull out a block of cheese, Parmesan cheese. So now these two toddlers are sitting on the floor with a cheese grater and a block of Parmesan cheese. And all you can hear is just the sound of grating cheese. The shavings are falling on the floor. They're picking it up. Now, this house had heating vents on the floor. Well, this toddler took all of this cheese, lifted up the heating vent, and they started feeding cheese down the vent. They then go back to the room. Well, morning hits, the dad wakes up. "What is that smell?" Now, this is the middle of winter, so the heat was on. The entire house smells like hot feet. He starts checking everything. He opens the fridge, the oven, he's mopping the floors. The smell won't go away, but his toddlers are being suspicious. "What did you two do?" "Milk." Now, this family is one of those families that had cameras inside the house. So he decided he's gonna check the cameras, and he sees everything happen. What in God's name? So he gets to cleaning. He does as best as he can, but that smell never really went away. But more than the smell, this dad was concerned, because how did his 2-year-old twins get out of their room, go to the kitchen, get a cheese grater, grate Parmesan cheese, and put it into the heating vents? Those two are menaces. This kid ran a crazy summer hustle. His neighbor's name was Mr. Henderson. "I'm Mr. Henderson." And he had just left for a 2-week camping trip, but he left his in-ground pool unattended. Most kids would sneak over for a quick dip, but this guy had a different idea. He turned his neighbor's backyard into a literal water park, and he charged every kid on the block $5 for a day pass. Step right up, water park day pass is $5. And people were paying. It was immediately a full-blown operation. There was a cooler full of sodas, there were folding chairs everywhere, and the front yard was a pile of bikes. And these two guys were by the gate, collecting $5 bills. On day 4, the party was at its peak. 15 kids in the backyard, cannonballs, Marco Polo. Some dude fired up Mr. Henderson's grill and was making hot dogs. Then Mr. Henderson shows up. "What in God's name is going on back here?" You see, obviously, one of the other neighbors called Mr. Henderson to let him know what was going on. So he came back from his trip super early. Backyard was dead silent. But what Mr. Henderson did, nobody expected. "You, come here." "Yes?" "Listen, I'm going back camping, okay? You could stay here as long as you clean up every day, and by the time I get back, it needs to be spotless. You understand?" "Oh, yeah. Stay out of my house, too, but have fun." And that was that. For the rest of the 2 weeks, those kids had the most fun they've ever had on a summer break. And yeah, that sounds awesome. This kid tried to outsmart the dress code. He was in 7th grade and his school had one of those weird rules. Your bangs couldn't go past your eyebrows. That was the line, just the eyebrows. So one day, a teacher pulls him aside. "Hey, come here." "Yeah?" "Get a haircut by tomorrow or there will be consequences." Usually a kid would then have their parents trim their hair. But not this guy. He went home angry. "I'm going home, and I'm angry." And he starts thinking like a lawyer. Hair can't go past your eyebrows. Then it hits him. If I don't have eyebrows, then there's nothing for the hair to go past. He felt like a genius. So that night, he took a razor and he shaved his eyebrows clean off. Shows up to school the next morning proud. Same teacher sees him. "What did I tell you about your hair? Come here." "Well, miss, I'm actually fine now. Not breaking any rules because I don't have eyebrows anymore." She was not impressed, and he still got into trouble and still had to trim his hair. But hey, nice try. They had a substitute teacher, and Henry was sitting in the back of the classroom. He was minding his business. And the substitute came in that day strict for no reason. He scanned the classroom, and he saw Henry in the back. He sees 2 small devices in Henry's ears. "Hey, you, give me those headphones now." Okay. He didn't argue, he just handed over the devices. The substitute then took these, put it in the drawer, and began teaching. About 10 minutes later, he needed a volunteer. Okay, one of you come up here. You know what? How about you? In the back. Henry. No response. Since you wanted to listen to music all class, why don't you come up here and help me? Still nothing. He then lost it and walked straight to Henry. Hi, hello? Why are you ignoring me? Oh, you were talking to me? Yes. I'm sorry, I can't understand you, sir. You made me give you my hearing aids. This dude had confiscated Henry's medical necessity, and boy, did he feel stupid about that. Well, why didn't you tell me? I don't know, you seemed real strict about it. He returned the hearing aids right then and there, but he never returned to that school. Yeah, I wouldn't either. There was a kid at recess who became the official referee. It started because these two groups of friends got into a huge argument about if somebody was out during their kickball game. Nobody trusted either team, so they asked this one kid to decide. Yeah, I was watching. He was definitely out. Both teams accepted it. Well, he started a little business. Pretty soon, if you wanted to play football, kickball, capture the flag, or even some completely made-up random game, you would ask this kid to referee. If it was a new game, the teams had to explain to him, okay, so if the potato goes into the hole, you lose, but if you miss, it's a point? A lot of times it didn't make sense, but he took what he got, and he reffed the game. And once the games would begin, his word was final. He made the calls. Now, in order to get this kid to ref your game, you would have to give him something. He didn't accept money. He didn't care about it. He wanted goods, snacks, drinks, cool items. He even wore a cool black and white striped shirt with a whistle, and everyone thought he was a legend. And that is because he is. You gotta respect the hustle. His little brother took video games so seriously. Every time he lost a match, he would lose his frickin' mind. This sucks! Stomping around, throwing things, and the room right below him was the older brothers. Dude, shut up! His ceiling fan would literally be shaking every time his little brother would lose it. And this went on until 2, sometimes 3 in the morning. Now he tried asking him all the time, bro, can you please be quieter? Dude, it's lagging and I lost the game, this sucks. So he had to get creative. He logged into the house's Wi-Fi router settings on his phone. And whenever his brother began stomping or yelling or throwing things, he would change the Wi-Fi password. Just one character. Here he goes. Well, when you do that, everything in the house would disconnect. He would wait about 20 seconds and then he would change the password back. Then things would reconnect. Now at first this made his brother even more mad because the game would just be cutting out in the middle of it. But after about a week, something interesting happened. Because every time he would stomp his feet or throw something or yell, he realized the game would get weird or disconnect entirely. So it's like Pavlov. Eventually, he just stopped crashing out altogether because subconsciously, crash out means Wi-Fi bad. And finally, his older brother was able to get his well-deserved rest. I'm a genius. The ice cream truck pulled into the neighborhood. Music blasting, kids are sprinting up. One little girl ran up with some crumpled up cash in her hand. A couple minutes later, she walks back to her dad. She's not happy. Hey, what happened? I gave him the $10 bill you gave me, but he didn't give me change back. He only gave me a lollipop. He didn't even give me my ice cream. What? Yeah, and then he just drove away. Now, this dad was so mad. Who would frickin' do that to a little kid? So the next day, what that dad did was he drove to Costco and he bought a bunch of boxes of ice cream bars and ice cream treats and brings them back to the neighborhood. He set it up in coolers in his driveway and wrote a big sign. Free ice cream. Come up, everybody. Everybody is now with their kids in this dude's driveway enjoying some free ice cream. The ice cream truck comes. Come on, kids. But no one even entertains the guy. He just left. The next day he came back, but this dad was still doing the free ice cream thing. Nobody ever went to that ice cream truck again in that block, and he never returned after a while. Good. What a freaking jerk. He robbed the teacher's lounge for months. In broad daylight during biology, he would leave class and walk straight into the teacher's lounge with so much confidence. He'd open the freezer, see what's in there, take an ice cream sandwich, open the fridge, take somebody else's lunch. If there were chips on the table, he'd grab like 7 bags. And he would literally nod at the teachers while he was taking their stuff. He was acting so confident, they didn't even question it. They assumed that he was there for a reason. That was the trick. And he would stand there having conversations. Mr. Johnson, your test was freaking brutal last week. I know I felt bad, but you did pretty good on it. You got a B, right? Yeah, it could have been an A though. I'm just gonna grab this and leave. Take care. Literally talking to this teacher while he's stealing another teacher's apple, banana, granola bar. And it worked for months. Until one day, one person decided to finally question him. It was the vice principal. Yo, what are you doing in here? All that confidence and swagger, and he never decided to think of a story of why he would belong there. So he was busted and suspended for 5 days. Freshman year, this kid dumped every single drop of soap on the floor of the boys' bathroom. Soap, 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 soap everywhere. Yeah, it was a mess. There was soap everywhere. It was a slippery crime scene. You would think the janitor would come in, clean it up, they would punish whoever did this, and they would refill the soap. But that's not what they did. In fact, they took the soap out of every other boys' bathroom in the school, and they left all of the soap dispensers empty for 4 years. One kid makes a huge mess one time, and now every single boy at the school cannot wash their hands with soap. Yo, this isn't fair at all. It's actually disgusting. And whenever someone complained, the teachers were like, well, you can thank whoever made the mess the first time. And kids started bringing their own soap in their backpacks, but most people didn't. And that's when one kid decided to start a soap business. He bought a bunch of tiny soaps from the dollar store and he sold them for $1. So he wasn't making any profit, but he was able to provide soap to anybody that had $1. And to this day, pretty sure there still isn't any soap at that school. That's nuts. He's the new kid at a new school, and there's a big rally happening in the gym. It's packed. He's trying to find a seat, but he doesn't want to be noticed. He's kind of shy. Well, there's music blasting, the bleachers are shaking, he's trying to sit down. He's walking up the bleachers, and he's like, all right, just walk fast, be confident, take a seat, it's not that hard. So he starts jogging. Okay. Well, that's when his foot catches something and he falls down. But as he falls, he grabs onto this one kid. Well, that kid grabs onto somebody else. And suddenly, it's this full-blown domino effect. Bodies just tumbling down these bleachers. 25 to 30 kids, all just falling, bouncing, rolling down. And it was loud. The sound was unreal. People were screaming. The music stops. Once the falling was done, there's a pile of humans on the floor of the gym. And then the laughter erupts. One by one, people are getting out of the pile until him at the bottom is seen. He started this! And now everybody's laughing at him. For the rest of the year, that kid was known as Bleacher Boy. But it kind of worked out in his favor because people thought it was hilarious. Nobody made fun of him. They just remember it as the day this kid caused the funniest human avalanche ever. Every single morning, this kid bought the same thing from the vending machine. Sugar-free lemonade. Yum. The same vending machine, the same drink, every morning. It was his routine. Well, one morning, he drops his coins in. What the heck? Clink, clink, nothing. The machine is not recognizing this money at all. He tries to press the button to get his coins back, but nothing was happening. Okay, must be broken. So he goes to the office and tells them. They say that they have no control over the vending machines at all. So he wrote on a piece of paper, do not use out of order, and he tapes it to that vending machine. Okay, perfect. Now nobody else will waste their money here. Hero moment. The next morning, he goes to the vending machine and the paper is gone. So he assumes, how cool, they must have fixed it. What the heck? Still broken. His coins just gone. Nothing's registering, he cannot get his drink. So he's irritated now, he makes another piece of paper. Do not use out of order. He tapes it on there. This time he checks on it at lunch and the piece of paper is gone. But the machine is still broken. Somebody is taking his paper off but not fixing the machine. People are probably wasting their money here. He didn't want people to make the same mistake he was doing, but he was like, why are they taking this down? So he goes to the principal again, makes the principal call the vending machine company. They come out and they fix it. Yeah. But all the money he put in there was gone. They wouldn't give him a refund. But hey, at least he got the vending machine fixed. And he got to have his sugar-free lemonade again. Here's what happens when you sell fake hall passes for 2 weeks at school. This kid Tyler was running an entire business. He'd been selling hall passes for basically anybody that wanted to skip class. $5 a pop. The passes, they looked legit as well. Official watermark, teacher signatures, the whole deal. Everyone thought he had some kind of connection to the front office, and he wouldn't sell too many at one time because he didn't want the school to get suspicious, so it was a limited supply he would sell per month. Well, this quiet girl named Maya, hi, I'm Maya, she'd been watching this whole thing go down for weeks. She never said anything, she just observed. Well, one day, she sees Tyler drop one of the passes on the ground. So she picks it up, looks at it for a second, and then puts it in her pocket. Now, she wasn't going to say anything about it. She's like, this is none of my business, let him do what he's doing. Well, the next day, Tyler tries to sell her a hall pass. No thanks, I'm okay. But then Tyler starts clowning her in front of the whole class. You're such a teacher's pet. Are you too scared to get one of these? Well, here's what Tyler didn't know. Maya's mom literally works for the school office, and she's the one that designs all official school documents. So Maya knows exactly what a real hall pass looks like, down to the specific font and paper stock. Now, like I said, she wasn't gonna snitch on him. But now, she is. She takes the hall pass that she found, goes to the principal, and breaks down everything wrong with it. The font is off, the signature's been traced, and this is the wrong paper. This is basic paper from Staples. Principal takes a few days to investigate, pulls up some security footage, and catches Tyler selling these hall passes multiple times. Tyler got a 2-week suspension, and Maya didn't say a word about it to anybody. Nobody knew she snitched. She just went right back to being quiet. That's why you gotta be careful who you disrespect. Somebody might ruin you. There's a big difference between Oak Street and Oak Avenue, and it changed this one kid's life. He was told to meet at this house for a study group. The address was 124 Oak Avenue, but when he put it in his GPS, he put 124 Oak Street, which is a completely different house. Pulled up, he went to the door and he knocked. "Oh, you must be one of the neighbor boys. Come on in," this old lady answered. Kid's like, "This doesn't seem like my study group." And it wasn't, but he just went along with it. "Have a seat, I'm making cookies." "Oh, okay." He sits down, she pours him a glass of milk, and he had a bite of a cookie. "This is the best cookie I've ever had." "Glad you like it." And they sat there for an hour and a half, just chatting. She told him stories about being in school in the 50s and their school dances. He even pulled out his book and studied there for a bit. It was productive, and him and this grandma lady connected. You see, this woman lived alone. Her grandchildren had all graduated and moved out of the town. She was lonely, and this kid's grandma had passed away 2 years ago. So it was like a connection. "Are you sure you've had enough food?" "Yes, it was delicious, and thanks for helping me study." "Of course. Come back whenever." And he did. Once a month, he would go over there for cookies and a study session. And he realized this kid pulled a prank that caused the school so much trouble. And nobody ever found out it was him. It starts with him at a dollar store. He finds these bottles of concentrated bubble bath soap. This looks fun. Like a tiny amount of this stuff would make a ton of foam. This gives me an idea. So he buys a bunch of them, fills his entire gym bag. Now, this kid knows the school's layout. He knows where all the cameras are. He knows where their cameras aren't. So one weekend, he sneaks inside the building. We're in. He makes it secretly all the way to the pool. The school pool. Looks around, it's empty. Obviously, it's like 10 p.m. on a Saturday. He unzips his bag and he just starts dumping this bubble bath soap into the pool. Bottle after bottle. Then he just leaves. He doesn't stick around. Didn't even wait to see what happened. Well, flash forward to Monday. He gets to school, and there's literally foam everywhere, bursting through doors, filling the hallways. The entire pool room has foam up to the ceiling. Yo. The principal's freaking out. Cancel school! This is an emergency! The kids are laughing. The entire school is talking about this. But here's the thing that this kid did not think about. That foam doesn't just sit there. It gets into the filtration system, into the tubes, the pipes. The entire pool had to be shut down for weeks. It had to be drained, rinsed, and drained like 4 times to make sure all the soap was gone. The biggest problem is that school was known for its water sports, so the polo team and the swim team had to change their entire schedules and share pools with different schools. And the craziest part, this kid didn't even tell anybody. The situation was so bad he couldn't even brag about it to his friends, so he just stayed silent. Until now. Here's what happens when your coach smashes your phone. This school's basketball coach was pretty intense. All right, huddle up, everybody. Time for team talk. It was one day after practice, and everybody was huddled up by the coach for like a regroup thing. But this kid named Johnny was on his phone. Hey, Johnny, come on, man! This is team huddle! Give me your phone right now! Johnny hands it over, thinking he's just gonna get a lecture. Fine. Coach takes the phone, walks straight into the equipment room, and slams the door. And then everybody hears it. The sound of smashing, cracking, screaming from the coach. Johnny's stomach drops. His phone was brand new. His parents saved up for 3 months to get it for him for his birthday. He's shaking, he's almost crying. The coach walks back out, holding a mangled piece of metal and glass. Here's what happens when you're not paying attention, kid. Johnny notices something immediately. The mangled phone was way too light. He flips it over and realizes it's not even real. It's a dummy phone from the school drama department. Your real phone's in my office. Maybe now you'll lock in during team time, okay? From that day on, Johnny left his phone far away in the locker during practice. Dude, that coach is kinda awesome. In most classrooms, misbehavior gets you a warning or a detention. Well, back in the 80s, it was something completely different. In this classroom, any deviation from the system, like talking too much or misbehaving, throwing stuff, spitballs, it required a physical debt. Hey, Kyle, spitball! The teacher didn't make them sit in a corner or put a goofy hat on. Next to his desk on the floor laid a sheet of coarse sandpaper. One mistake, you had to get up there and kneel down on the sandpaper. And you weren't just kneeling, you were working. You had to stay in that exact position while your knees grinded onto the grit while you had to write massive amounts of words. And what you normally did is there were a list of 30 words and you had to write each word 10 times. The punishment was designed to make them try to write fast, because the longer you took to write these words, the longer you had to kneel. It's actually incredibly horrifying, and it would completely not fly today. I can't believe that's what they did back then. Eventually, they stopped doing that, thank God. But that teacher never got in trouble because, well, it was the 80s. Most teachers have a confiscation drawer, usually full of phones, gum, fidget spinners. But this one teacher had a crazy policy. If it's on your desk and it's not a pencil or your work, it's mine until June. She wasn't joking, she was basically like a frickin' pirate. And her desk was the treasure chest, baby. By May, her desk would look like a mix between a museum and a flea market. Stuff everywhere. She had a stack of rare Pokemon cards, a half-finished crochet project from a student trying to make a hat during a test. There were some lucky rocks, and I kid you not, a waffle maker. On the last day of school, everyone would line up. This is to get their stuff back, or at least they hope. But this teacher, see, she didn't just hand it over. Everything on the desk is up for auction. You see, all year, she had been tracking these classroom points. Points you would get from doing well on tests, doing well on homework, good behavior. And at the end of the year, for this auction, that was the only currency that she wanted. Well, the kid who owned the waffle maker only had 50 points. The straight A kid had 500 points. Yeah, I want the waffle maker. Oh, man. But there was a bidding war. No, I wanted 150 points, 200 points. At the end of the day, pretty much everyone walked away with something that wasn't theirs to begin with. And honestly, that sounds kind of fun. If I were in that class, I would rack up those points as much as I could, and I would take all the stuff. That's crazy. There was this kid named Silas who hadn't spoken since the 6th grade. Silas went 3 years without making a sound, until he ended up in Mr. Garrett's algebra class. I'm Mr. Garrett. Now, Mr. Garrett was a notorious power trip who loved picking on kids for no reason. Well, that particular day, he was really laying into this kid named Leo. Well, are you stupid, Leo? I asked you for the answer 10 minutes ago. Stand up. Sit down. Now, Leo was a freshman, and he had a stutter. And on that day, he was clearly on the verge of a full-blown panic attack. Teacher was being ruthless. And the class was silent as well. They were like, this is super uncomfortable. Teacher's still laying into him. How did you even get through middle school? You are the dumbest student I've had in years. Well, that's when the class heard a scrape, like someone's chair being pushed out. It's Silas. He's standing up now. Silas, sit back down. This does not involve you. Silas didn't sit down. He walked right to the front of the room. He stood between the teacher and the kid, and he spoke for the first time in 3 years. He's not the one who's stupid, Mr. Garrett. A good teacher doesn't need to bully a 15-year-old to feel powerful. So there's something weird about you. Mr. Garrett was so stunned because this kid hadn't spoken all year that he just sat down, stunned in his seat. Silas never spoke at school again for the rest of the year. He didn't have to, because everyone already knew. Every kid at this one school got a Chromebook. It was for homework, and they were allowed to take it home. Well, this one kid's mom wanted to punish her kids one day, so she took away the Chromebook so they wouldn't have access to the internet. Mom, I need the Chromebook. I don't care, I'm locking it up until your behavior improves. Okay, well, now, naturally, this kid's grades begin to sink because he doesn't have the Chromebook or the internet to do his homework every night. So the mom gets mad again. Your grades are absolutely horrible. Mom, you took the computer. I don't want to hear it. So the mom installs locks on this kid's bedroom door. And it wasn't like a cheap lock. It was a fingerprint lock. So if he wanted to sleep, he had to ask for permission. The mom also changed the house locks as well to only open for her fingerprint. So someday he would get home from school and he would have to wait outside. This is horrible. I hate my life. He explained to his teachers what was going on at home, and they tried calling the mom and talking some sense into her, but the mom always said, I know better than the school, I know better than you teachers, I know better than anyone, okay? This went on from when he was 14 to 18 years old. At 18, he moved out of the house immediately. And now the mom, of course, is like, hi, it's your mom. Why don't you come see me anymore? You never visit. He never visits. I wonder why. This kid rode his bike to a grocery store. Yeah. He's using some of his summer job paycheck money to buy some snacks, chips, and sweets. He buys them, goes outside, and sets down the bag while he's unlocking his bike. Okay, I'll set you right here, unlock the bike. When he unlocks his bike and looks around, the bag is missing. That's when he sees this kid, younger than him, stuffing this stuff in his backpack. And the kid runs home. Yo, what the heck? That's it, I'm gonna follow him. He takes his bike and follows this kid to his house. Knocks on the door. The mom answers. Yes? He stays calm. Yeah, your son took my stuff. I got some groceries and some snacks. I saw him put it in his backpack and run away. I just want it back. My kid would never steal. I saw him do it. If you don't leave my house right now, I'm calling the police because of harassment. Well, he doesn't leave. They call the police, and 5 minutes later, the cops show up. They hear both sides. They then say, kid, open your backpack, please. Okay. And there the stuff was. Chips, sweets, everything. Yeah. Give it back, please. Give him the stuff back. The cops leave, the mom shuts the door in this kid's face, and they go their separate ways. But that's so embarrassing for that mom. That kid didn't learn anything, because a couple days later, he went to the guy's house that he stole stuff from, and he threw eggs at it. What a little jerk. They had just moved into a house in the woods. All right, family, here we are. Go check the place out. We're gonna be so happy here. So they'd only been there for a few weeks. Every once in a while, some wild turkeys would show up in the yard. 5, maybe 6 of them, and they would just wander around. Nobody thought anything of it. Hey, look, kids, the turkeys are back. Yay! Well, Thanksgiving comes around, and although there are turkeys by the house, this guy doesn't hunt one. He goes to the store and buys one. He cooks the turkey, the table's all set, and now the dining room table is right in front of this giant window. Well, he puts the cooked turkey down, he grabs his carving knife, and he starts to carve this turkey. Okay. Well, as he's deep into the carving, he looks up and out the window. I kid you not, there were 15, maybe 20 wild turkeys lined up, staring directly inside this guy's window as he's carving the turkey he just cooked. Honey, I'm hungry. Is food almost ready? Sweetie, look. They're watching us. What? He lowers the knife, takes the turkey, brings it into another room where there are no windows, and he finishes carving it there. And then once this guy moved to a different room, one by one, those turkeys went back into the woods. That is wild. You ever go to a neighborhood garage sale and see somebody selling a vintage camera for like $5 when it's actually worth $500? Most people just let it happen, but not this kid. Yeah. He's 13, he's got a tablet, and he's running an appraisal firm in his neighborhood. You see, these families near his house, they have garage sales all the time, and they have no idea what they're selling. They're just clearing out their attics. Then the lowballers show up. Oh, that's a big box of Pokemon cards. How much? Oh, you can have them for $5, sweetie. Perfect. Well, you see, that's when the auditor would show up. He would walk up to a neighbor's garage sale and say, I don't want any of your money. I just want 10% of the extra cash you make. He then pulls out his tablet and he starts appraising every single item that these people are selling. He would check on eBay to see the realistic price. Sir, this camera's worth $200 and you're selling it for $3. What? Oh my God, really? That's so good to know. Imagine a guy trying to pay $5 for an old dusty lamp. Yeah, that sounds fair. Actually, that's a mid-century original lamp. It sold for $85 yesterday on eBay. You can have it for $60. People pay. By the end of the day, he would make $100 in commission without having to sell a single item. And the neighbors he's helping are so grateful. And honestly, I never thought about this, but it's genius. And this time I definitely gotta say, respect the hustle. If you can't eat it, you need to wear it. This kid's parents had this unbelievably weird dinner rule. Every night at dinner, if you refused to eat your food or you got full before your plate was finished, you had to wear your food. I don't want to eat my peas. Put the peas in your hair. Or, I'm too full to eat these mashed potatoes, and rub the mashed potatoes all over your head. Apparently, this kid's parents thought this was teaching him discipline or something. One night, this kid refused to eat his green beans. I don't want to eat them. And I can't eat my spaghetti either, I'm so full. Well, then you better line up each and every one of those green beans in that ugly mullet of yours. And make sure you drape all the noodles over your head as well. You know the rules in my house. So he puts it all on his head. And the thing is, they wouldn't let him shower after this until right before he went to bed. So God forbid they had guests come over. What is he gonna say to him? Sorry, I smell and look weird. My parents made me mush all my food all over my body. Oh, that's actually super messed up. Every school has that one kid who is super talented at something random. At this one school, his name was Marcus, and he was amazing at flipping water bottles, but not the normal way. He was able to flip these water bottles and have them land on their cap on crazy surfaces, like the edge of a chalkboard. Watch this. Nice. He made it look so effortless that this one kid in his class wanted to try it for himself. It was study hall, very quiet, and he's sitting there. He's got a half-empty Gatorade bottle, and he's thinking to himself, this is my chance. I'm gonna flip this bottle, land it on its cap on the teacher's desk. You see, Marcus was in this study hall as well. Well, this kid went for it, gave it a flip. Marcus is gonna be so impressed. Here we go. It was like slow motion. Flip, flip, flip. But suddenly, the cap fell off. He didn't tighten it enough. And this Gatorade just spills all over the teacher's desk. What the heck is your problem? He panicked. Marcus did it, Marcus said. But no, I didn't, bro. The teacher said, yeah, I don't believe that. Marcus is a god at flipping bottles. The teacher knew how good Marcus was. He didn't believe this kid for a second. I'll take myself to the office. Yeah, that's a good idea. Tough break. For some reason, in the middle of class, he pulled out a classical guitar and he began playing classical guitar music in front of everybody. He was probably trying to show off his guitar skills in front of the students. Well, some kid in the back was whispering during it. Dude, last weekend was so freaking fun. That squirrel was awesome. Well, Mr. Thorne heard this. It was during the most delicate part of the song. He took a guitar and he threw it right at this kid. It hit the wall and shattered. The guitar was expensive too, and the teacher just broke it. Everyone was stunned. Mr. Thorne then began to walk to the back of the classroom towards the kid. Mr. Thorne then reached down, grabbed the metal legs of the desk, and flipped the desk with the kid still in it. The kid was now pinned under the desk, and he was crying. The rest of the class still stunned. Mr. Thorne then walked back to the front of the room, looked at everybody and said, page 42, now. And he expected everyone was just gonna do it. But no, the kid who was flipped walked out, got the principal came, and Mr. Thorne was fired. And yeah, that makes perfect sense. This kid's not all there. I'm thirsty. But he wanted to focus really hard on this spelling test. He didn't want to be distracted by taking a sip of water or asking to go get some. So this was his brilliant idea. He went to the water fountain before class. He got a very big gulp of water and left it in his mouth. He heard that this is what the squirrels do. They put nuts in their mouth and they save them for later. Well, that was his idea, but with water. So now he's sitting in class. The teacher's naming the words, and he's writing the spelling down with a bunch of water in his mouth. All right, class, your next word is fortitude. His plan was to take small, tiny gulps throughout the test, so he never went thirsty. Well, about 2 minutes into the test, his cheeks give way, and a bunch of water just falls right on his desk. The test and the desk were soaked. Water was now spilling on the floor, and other kids noticed. The teacher walks over. Why is there a bunch of water on your desk and the floor? The kid didn't know how to respond, so he just looks her in the eyes and said, I have no idea. The teacher was so confused by that answer that she just walked away. No more questions were asked. He failed that spelling test. What? This one skate park, everyone called this kid the professor. While the kids from the neighborhood were hitting the ramps, the professor was sitting at the side with a notebook and a pencil. He didn't even own a skateboard. He just sat there, measuring the incline of the death gap, a 10-foot jump over the staircase that was very difficult. Just a great angle, this one too. Then one day, the best skater in the neighborhood shows up. Let's call him Jackson. He was there to try to clear this death gap and make a name for himself in the neighborhood. I'm the best. I can do it. He tried 5 times. Every time, his board would scuff off and he would fall down. At this point, his elbows were bleeding and he was getting incredibly frustrated. Everyone watching was like, you're not gonna do it, man. You're still a good skater, though. Yeah, just give it up, Jackson. I'm gonna clear it. That's when the professor goes up to him. Hey, dude, you're actually approaching it from a completely different angle. If you hit it right here, just like that, I promise you'll clear the gap. The kid's just trying to help him. But Jackson says, shut up, dude, you don't even skate. I'm not gonna listen to you, loser. But Jackson had went over this jump thousands of times in his head. It's been in his notebook for days. He knows the angles. So he grabs Jackson's skateboard. Let me see this. He hops on, goes to the other end of the ramp, and he drops in. He's going. And he clears it. Whoa, he did it. Hey, nice work, man. What the heck? I told you, bro. If you listened to me, you could have had all the glory. But now, it's mine. Come on. Yeah, I'm awesome. The professor went home, and he never returned to that skate park again. And Jackson, that night, cried himself to sleep. And it's all because when she was a teenager, her dad was driving her to work at Dairy Queen. They're in the car. All right, sweetie, this is gonna be a good day. Ugh, I hate working. It's a normal ride so far. Then, out of nowhere, this woman cuts them off on the road. Most people just honk, then move on. But not this dad. He locks in, and he chases her down. They finally get to this red light. He pulls up to the right of her. rolls his window down, and leaps out of the car right under her windshield. Apologize to me right now! Apologize to me right now! Screaming, flailing, right on her windshield. Now, he didn't put the car in park, so you know when you're not driving, the car just goes by itself very slowly. So this girl is in the car, her dad's on somebody else's car, and the car is just rolling slowly into the intersection. So she has to put her foot over the driver's seat and press the gas herself. Once her dad calms down, he gets back in the car and drives her to work like nothing happened. Have a good day, sweetie. Later that night, when everybody's home, they get a knock on the door while they're watching TV. I'll get it. It's the police. Hi, is your dad home? Dad, you're going to jail. And he was arrested. Makes sense. He was a kid. His mom dragged him to the nearest 7-Eleven. I don't want to go. Well, that's too bad. Well, they get there. She goes in the store, but he waits outside. He then sees this older, strange-looking guy sitting against a wall. Hey. Hey, want to see something cool? And he's a kid, so he said yes. Of course he wants to see something cool, which you should never do. The man then smiles, and then pulls off a prosthetic leg and showed this kid his leg stump. Look at this. The leg stump had a very weird smiley face drawn on it in Sharpie. The kid absolutely freaks out. That's not cool. The man then panics because I guess he had good intentions. Oh, no, wait, look, it's actually cool, look. The kid's now ugly crying, the mom runs out of the store. What's going on? His leg. The man's embarrassed, the mom's freaking out at him. I don't know why he showed the kid his leg stump anyway, but she went home with her kid. And years later, when he sees a 7-Eleven, he freaks out a little bit still. Mr. Gene was a creepy teacher. Big guy, super weird energy, and he had bottles and bottles of Febreze behind his desk. And I guess he had a very strong nose as well, because he took it very personally when someone would come to class smelling bad. If he didn't like the way someone smelled, they would sit down and he would Febreze the air. Well, one day class started normally. He was teaching like normal.
The Industrial Revolution was one of the crimes.
He locked eyes with this one kid. He didn't like what he smelled. So he grabbed the Febreze bottle, and he marched right over to this kid. Can I help you? And Mr. Gene just sprayed over and over and over. For like 15 seconds. This kid didn't know what to do, so he's just sitting there getting drenched in Febreze. Please stop.
Smell better next time.
Turns around, goes to the front of the class, and begins teaching again like nothing happened. Crazy part is that teacher taught for another 5 years before he retired. I don't know how he wasn't fired. This school prank lasted for 2 years. It all began at this high school when a single rubber duck appeared in the school's water fountain. And nobody thought much of it. It was just a random duck. Who cares? Until the next day, 2 ducks. Then 4, then 10. By the end of that week, there was rubber ducks appearing in every sink, every toilet, and even in students' lockers. Teachers were losing their minds. The principal, she was done. She kept saying on the intercom, "Whoever's responsible for the ducks, speak up now, please." Silence. Nobody confessed. So they gave up. They figured it would eventually sizzle out. But here's the thing, it never stopped. For 2 years, rubber ducks would randomly appear in the craziest of places. Ceiling tiles, inside the vending machines, somehow. One duck even appeared in the vice principal's car. It became a legend till this senior year. It was graduation. The principal was giving her speech when suddenly a banner dropped down. What was on the banner? A single rubber duck. This kid walked to the front of the stage and said, "It was me. It was always me." He had a crush on this girl for months. They were in the same last period class. Hey, what's up, Carla? Hey, Bryce. Well, 3 days before Valentine's Day, he decides he's done being scared. So instead of just asking her out like a normal person, he buys one of those school singing Valentines. $10, one singer, he comes to your class and sings to your crush. All set? Thank you. You got it. Now it's the night before Valentine's Day. His phone rings. Hello? Dude, she has a freaking boyfriend. Oh, man. So now he panics. That next morning, he tries to cancel. But it's too late. No refunds, and everyone's already been sent out. Well, it's last period. He's sitting there praying that they ran out of time and that somehow his order would be skipped. 10 minutes left in class. Please, please, please. And here this guy comes. We have a singing Valentine here for Lady Erickson. Oh, that's my last name. That's me. And he begins. Wild thing, you make his heart sing. he's in love with you, or something like that. I don't know the song, but it goes on for a good 45 seconds. Yay! Now, she obviously assumes this is from her boyfriend, but then he hands her the card. And here is the card from your Valentine. She opens it up. Bryce? I didn't know that you... I have a boyfriend, you freaking creep. Wait till I tell him about this. You're done for. After that class, he rushes out of the door into the buses, and he goes home. And he said that was the most embarrassing day of his entire life. Yeah. Dad, I hit 1,000 subscribers. That's nice, son. This kid was grinding on YouTube, and he's excited. A couple months later, Dad, I have 10,000 subscribers. Whoa, you're really putting in some work. And then, oh my God, 20,000 subscribers. Congrats, buddy. Fast forward a couple weeks, the school calls the dad. Hi, hello there. This is the middle school. Your son hasn't been in school for 3 days. What? He is ticked off. The son comes in later. Hey, what's up, Pops? Where were you? I was at school. No, you weren't. Yes, I was. Give me your phone. Go to your room. He goes to his room and slams the door. Well, that was the last straw for his dad. The dad sits there for a second, fuming. His son's laptop is in the living room, and it's open and unlocked. So he goes in there. He goes to the YouTube channel, and he deletes permanently the entire YouTube channel his son has been working on. He then goes to his son's room and knocks. What? I deleted your YouTube channel, by the way. That should teach you a major lesson. You're kidding. I'm not. Oh my God, you're the worst dad ever. I hate you. Full-blown meltdown. This kid is losing it. He's crying. The dad thinks, good, this is a lesson for him. Then later, something feels off to him, so he calls the school. Hey, yeah, I just wanted to touch base about my son's absences. You guys called me letting me know he missed the past 3 days of school, but the secretary's like, we didn't call you, sir, and your son's been here all week. He's got perfect attendance. What? That can't be true. So now he's scrolling the call log. The number that called him wasn't the school's number. And that's when everything unfolds. A couple of kids called him as a prank. His son was at school and he deleted his YouTube channel for nothing. But now he can't take it back. And his son didn't talk to him for months. The second he turned 18, he moved out. He's a grown man. Afraid of frogs. You can't go fishing. You won't walk near a pond. If a nature documentary shows a frog, nope. If he sees a cartoon frog on a commercial, hey, turn this off. If he's at a pet store, he will not walk down the aisle where the frogs are. I'm not going down there. Don't make me go down there. And nobody understands it. One night, he's chilling with a friend, and his friend finally asks him, hey, bro, I always meant to ask you, what's your deal with frogs? He laughs it off at first. Then he goes quiet. He says it started when he was 8 years old. It was summer. He was at the pond behind his grandma's house. Him and his cousin were messing around near the water. When his cousin scoops something up, whoa, it was a frog. He then throws it at him. Catch! Before he could react, that frog hits him right in the chest. Splat! And it's stuck there, clinging to his shirt. He slowly looks down and he sees the frog staring right up at him. To this day, he swears that the frog blinked once and said this, you would look better in a top hat. He freaked out. He shoved that frog off his shirt and he ran home. So yeah, that's what happened. That's so dumb. Obviously, his buddy didn't believe him, but he knows what he saw and he knows what he heard. And to this day, he is still terrified of frogs. That's nuts. The senior prank was to fork the lawn, which means sticking forks all over the school's lawn. You see, at this one particular school, they used real silverware, and the seniors have been planning it for a long time. All right, guys, we have 3 months. Whenever you get the chance, steal a fork. You got it, Johnny. Brilliant plan, old chap. Every lunch period, they would be taking these forks secretly. And they were doing it slowly, so it seemed like a natural disappearance of silverware. But by the end of spring, the seniors had hundreds of forks. And no other class knew. Then the night before their last day of school, they came to campus, quiet. And they took all of these forks, and they shoved them into the lawn, evenly spread apart. And there were so many forks. By the time they were done, the grass looked like it had grown metal hair. It's beautiful. Bro, take that wig off. And the next day, administration went crazy. And the thing was, there was only one custodian left for that school year. This older guy. My name's Mr. Johnny. Hey, Mr. Johnny, can you please pull these forks out of the lawn? I don't want anybody tripping. Oh, okay. And then there he was, down on his hands and knees, pulling these forks out of the grass. Hundreds of them. Bending, sweating, he's working alone. A teacher finally came in to try to help him. Hey, Mr. Johnny, you can... That's when he saw his face. Mr. Johnny was crying. Thank you. That prank then went down in school history, but nobody ever talked about the guy that had to clean it all up. Hey, respect Mr. Johnny. It's senior year, middle of class, when all of a sudden people hear, look, a horse. People step out into the hallway and they see it. There's a horse just trotting down the hallway. The principal gets on the intercom and is like, everybody stay in your classrooms. Yeah, nobody listened. Kids are pouring out trying to see. They got their phones out. Yo, whose horse is that? The funny part is this one teacher, he encouraged it. He told one of the kids in his class, hey, Billy, come here. Yeah, what's up? Dude, I dare you to go ride that horse. Okay. So now you have this horse trotting down the hallway, a bunch of students standing to the side, filming it, and this one kid jogs up and hops on the horse. People are losing their minds, and at this moment, the horse is heading right for these big doors in the edge of the school, and students run up and they open the doors. That's when the kid who jumped on the horse is like, go! And he gallops right outside the school. Now, the school was right next to these farms, so that's obviously where the horse came from, but this kid just goes. He's now outside of school on this random horse that somehow got in, galloping around fields of corn. And honestly, that would be the best day of school ever. It snowed heavily overnight. It's now early morning, and this retired guy is snow blowing his driveway. Milk, milk, milk. He clears his driveway, then he does his neighbors to the left, and then his neighbors to the right. He usually does those, just as a neighborly friendly thing, because they're also old. He parks the machine, goes inside, and puts on The Sopranos. Hey, gabagool, Tony's gabagool. The doorbell rings. He opens it, and it's a woman from like 5 doors down. She just moved in. Hi, why haven't you done our driveway yet? I'm gonna be late for work. I saw you do these two. When's ours gonna be done? Ma'am, this is not a service. I do a favor for these two because they're old, like me, but I still got my good knees. I'm sorry. You would think she'd be like, oh my gosh, how dumb of me. How dare I assume that you're gonna do our driveway? But no. Well, we're your neighbors too. Can you please snow blow our driveway? He's standing there, appalled. No. Slams the door in her face, goes back to his chair, and presses play to resume The Sopranos. Hey, Tony Soprano. Gabagool. That lady's out of her mind. In 4th grade, these two kids decided to ruin someone's life. They didn't mean to, though. It started as a joke. They stayed after class one day, laughing, scribbling in notebook paper. JT, I've been in love with you forever. That's good, that's good. But they didn't sign their names on it. They signed this one girl's. She was a quiet girl, and JT was the class clown. They finished writing the note, and they folded it up. They then put it in JT's desk, and they left. Forgot about it. Until the next morning, they walk into class, and JT is standing up, reading this note. JT, I've been in love with you forever. You make my heart go boom, boom, boom. What? He reads every word, and when he's done, everyone turns to this girl. I didn't write that, I swear. I didn't write that. Nobody believes her. Everyone thinks it's real. She has a full-blown meltdown and she leaves the classroom. And the two kids stare at their desks. The next few days, she is bullied relentlessly. And one of the boys that wrote the note couldn't take it. Hey, it was me that wrote the note. Me and Kyle. We are so sorry. Why would you do that to me? My life has been horrible this week. I'm so sorry, I'll try to make it right. Those two then announced in front of that entire class that it was actually them, and that people should please be nice to this girl. But it wasn't as easy as that. People still made fun of her, and they realized that even a simple joke could follow somebody around for years. So be careful what you do, and be careful who you do it to. Be nice, everybody. This is what happens when your math teacher sucks. This guy's kid is in 4th grade, and she's been having trouble in math. The whole year, she's struggled, but when they got to multiplication and division, she struggled even more. I just don't understand it, Dad. I know, let's just try it again. The thing is, she just doesn't understand the method they're teaching, and it doesn't sound easy. So for multiplying, it's a bunch of steps. You break up the numbers, you draw boxes, then you multiply and then add them together. Something like that. And she gets these problems wrong like 90% of the time. So the dad's like, you know what? I'm gonna teach you the way that I learned how to do multiplication. She's like, okay. And guess what? Oh, Dad, I understand it. She under-frickin-stands it. Homework is 1,000,000 times easier now because she learned it and she's actually solving the problems. Well, here's the issue. His daughter had a math test a few weeks ago, and she came home very upset. Dad, I failed. What? Let me see your test. She got a 50%, even though she only got 2 problems wrong. Technically, it should have been a 92%. So he goes into school and he has a conversation with the teacher. Can you explain why my daughter failed? The teacher says, yes, it's because she didn't use the method that I taught in this class. Excuse me? The dad pointed out that the test just says to show your work. It doesn't say to use a specific method. But she said, well, that's too bad. I taught my method to these students for a reason. Your daughter didn't use it. So she fails. Oh, the dad was furious. He went to the principal. He admits that he made it a pretty big deal. What are you guys teaching in the school, huh? Some bogus way to do multiplication? It's so much easier than that. Now my daughter's failing even though she got a 92% on the test. Except with a lot more yelling. The principal called the teacher in and forced her to change the girl's grade to an A. The principal then apologized to the dad and said, "It won't happen again." Better not. But for real, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
তুকো ওই কিং হ্যান্ডেল লইয়া মাঠে যা যা যাস না।
আচ্ছা তুমি যাও না, খাউনটা বারো জানোস না, জানতে হইব তো। রিক্সাটা লো, সাইকেলটা লো বেটা আগে।
হবে না। আর আমি বুঝলাম না এই দুনিয়াতে এত জায়গা থাকতে আমার বাড়ির
সময় আহুক, দেখবি মনের কথা সব ভরভর করে কয়ে দিব।
পাশাপাশি তো রাসেল ভাইকে বারান্দায় টিভি বিছিয়ে রাখছে, আমরা সবাই মিলে ওখানে সিনেমা দেখতে যেতেছি, আমিও ওই দিক যেতেছিলাম।
कभी कभी जीतने के लिए कुछ हारना भी पड़ता है। हार का जीतने वाले
বাচ্চা ভাই একদম ফাটাই দিচ্ছেন। সিনেমা আর কি দেখবো, আপনাকে দেখে মনে হচ্ছে চোখের সামনে শাহরুখ খান ডায়লগ দিচ্ছে।
টাকা নষ্ট করস তুই সিনেমা টিভি দেখছ।
तुमने तो कहा था कि तुम्हारे पापा के सामने ये एक
আম্মা ছাড়ো।
এই বাচ্চা বাচ্চা
ডন
এই বাচ্চা
কথা কইছো, আমি কিন্তু বাড়িতে ওই বন্ধ করে দিব, আমি জামুগা।
আব্বারে ও আব্বা তুকো ওই কিং হ্যান্ডেল লইয়া মাঠে যা যা যাস না।
আচ্ছা তুমি যাও না, খাউনটা বারো
শোনা
तुम नहीं समझोगी प्रिया।
আপনার হাতটা একটু ধরবো?
আমার হাত
কবিতার পাতা ছুঁয়ে মন জনাকি।
আর তোমার?
হ্যাঁ বিলেতি নায়ক হইব এই
মতো পুরা
চকটাও নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে। ঘরে চল চকটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে চল।
শুনো, তোমার এই পোলা গ্রামের 8-10টা বাদাইম্মা পোলার মতো না। আমার কিন্তু গ্রামে শুনছি, জিনিসটা আমলে রাখলাম, কইলেই তো রয়ে যায় না।
আচ্ছা এখন ওই
ভুইকা গেছে।
কি আজব না বিষয়টা?
না না, আজব হইব কেন? আপনি আমার বস।
ভাই তুমি আজকে মনের কথাটা কয়ে
দেখছোস কিং খান, প্রিয়া আমারে ভুল বুঝলো। বুঝছি কত শালার কপাল।
এলো কি কবিতার পাতা ছুঁয়ে মন জন পড়ে না পলো সন্ধে আকাশ।
গেলাম। প্রথম প্রথম তো শাহরুখ খানের মতো হিরোইজম দেখাইছেন, আর এখন মনের কথা বলছি।
কিন্তু নিজের জীবনে প্রথম একটা মেয়ের প্রেমে পড়ছি খান। তুই কিন্তু আমার কোনদিন আমি কিং খান।
আমিও প্রথম প্রেমে পড়ছি।
কবিতার পাতা ছুঁয়ে মন জনকি বেলা।
মায়ের হাতের রান্না কিন্তু আমার মা তো দিয়েছিলেন। শাহরুখের প্রত্যেকটা কি সমস্যা?